gravel driveway stretched before us, a gray scar slicing through the endless Iowa cornfields, their tall stalks swaying in the warm July breeze like a sea of whispering sentinels. I pressed my forehead against the cool glass of the sedan's rear window, watching dust clouds billow behind us, obscuring the world we'd left behind. At 17, I should have been thrilled for the annual Wilson family reunion at Grandma and Grandpa's farm, a summer highlight filled with softball games, barbecues, and fireflies. But this year, the air felt heavier, the horizon less inviting. This year was my turn. "Almost there?" Dad said from the driver's seat, his knuckles white against the steering wheel, his voice tight despite the casual words. I nodded, silent, my stomach nodding. Mom turned from the passenger seat, her hand reaching back to squeeze mine. "Emma, honey, try to relax." Her smile was strained, her eyes avoiding mine, as if she couldn't bear to see the questions I hadn't yet voiced. Easy for her to say she'd faced her turn 30 years ago, whatever that meant. The Wilson family tradition was a locked vault, its contents guarded by tight lips and troubled glances, shared only in whispers too faint for me to catch. The white farmhouse emerged in the distance, its 19th century silhouette stark against the amber sky, its wraparound porch a silent witness to generations of secrets. As we pulled into the yard, I spotted familiar vehicles. Uncle Rob's black pickup, Aunt Kathy's minivan, Aunt Martha's sensible sedan, and Cousin Grant's motorcycle leaning against the barn, its chrome glinting like a warning. Max, my 16-year-old brother, grabbed the cooler from the trunk at Dad's instruction, his lanky frame moving with surprising ease. His face was unreadable, but I knew he was thinking of next year, when the tradition's shadow would fall on him. Grandma Ella Laner appeared on the porch, wiping her hands on her apron, her silver hair pulled into a practical bun, her posture defying her 78 years. "There you are," she called, her voice carrying across the yard, warm yet edged with something I couldn't place. Her eyes lingered on me, a moment too long, their weight pressing against my chest. I forced a smile, my skin prickling as we approached, the farmhouse's familiar scent of fresh bread and unidentified herbs enveloping me. Inside, the living room buzzed with conversation that hushed as I entered, a ripple of silence spreading like a stone dropped in still water. Aunt Kathy and Uncle Rob exchanged glances, Aunt Martha's smile too bright, too brittle. "Emma!" Grandpa Harold emerged from the kitchen, his hug stiff, his eyes distant. In the corner, Grant sat alone, staring into a glass of lemonade, his 25 years no match for the shadow that clung to him. 3 years ago, his turn had changed him, stripping away the boisterous cousin I'd known, leaving a hollow shell who barely acknowledged my wave. "Emma, you'll be in the east bedroom," Grandma announced, her gaze sharp as she peered at my elbow, as if inspecting me for flaws. "It's appropriate for your turn." "What does that mean?" I asked, my voice sharper than intended. "The morning light is good in there," she replied, vague, her eyes sliding away. "Diana, Thomas, you're in the blue room. Max, the small bedroom by the bathroom." I watched Uncle Rob step onto the porch, his third trip in 15 minutes, his eyes scanning the property before he strode to the barn. He tugged the heavy padlock, his movements deliberate, as if the lock held back more than just farm equipment. Lunch was strained, conversations clinging to safe topics, crop yields, Max's baseball season, local politics. Each time I mentioned the tradition, someone offered me potato salad or changed the subject. Finally, I set down my fork, the clink loud in the quiet. "Everyone says it's my turn this year." My turn for what? The table fell silent, Mom's fork clattering against her plate. "It maintains family bonds," Grandma said after a pause, her voice firm, unyielding. "Has for generations." "But what is it?" I pressed, my heart pounding. "Different for everyone," Mom murmured, her eyes fixed on her plate. "But necessary." That afternoon, while the family set up a volleyball net in the backyard, I slipped upstairs, the old farmhouse creaking under my steps. The hallway was lined with photographs, generations of Wilsons standing before this house, their faces etched with the same troubled look I'd seen in Grant, in Dad's occasional blank stares. In the study, I found photo albums organized by decade. Flipping through the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, I saw it again. Each reunion featured someone with that distant, haunted expression, a mark that transcended time. "You won't find answers in there," Max said from the doorway, his lanky frame leaning against the jamb, startling me. I nearly dropped the album. "Did Mom and Dad tell you anything about what happens?" I asked. He shrugged, his eyes dull. "Just that I'm next year. Aren't you scared? What's the point? Everyone goes through it." His resignation chilled me, a surrender that felt more terrifying than fear. Later, I caught Aunt Kathy on a stepladder in the kitchen doorway, tucking a bundle of dried herbs tied with red thread above the frame. She descended quickly when she saw me, her smile forced. "Just a family tradition, a little protection for the house." After dinner, as twilight draped the farm in purple shadows, I found Grant on the porch swing, his foot pushing it back and forth, the creak a metronome of unease. "Can we talk?" I asked, sitting beside him. His eyes flicked to me, then away. "About what?" "Your turn. 3 years ago." His foot stopped, the swing creaking to a halt. "No, I just want to know. You'll find out soon enough." His hands trembled, and he stood abruptly. "I need to help Uncle Rob. He left me alone." The swing swaying, my unease deepening. Grandma showed me to the east bedroom, its simple furnishings. A double bed with a handmade quilt, a wooden dresser, a desk beneath the window, comforting yet oppressive. "Try to sleep," she said, her hand lingering on the doorknob. "Whatever you may hear tonight." "What will I hear?" I asked, my voice tight. "That depends." Her expression softened, a flicker of pity. "The tradition maintains family bonds, Emma. Remember that." After she left, I unpacked, the digital clock reading 10:42 p.m. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, the house settling with groans and creaks. At 11:30, voices drifted from downstairs. Grandpa's deep rumble, Uncle Rob's sharp replies, Mom's tight emotion. I pressed my ear to the door, catching fragments. Checked everything twice, not enough. Her time now, like all of us. I pulled away, my pulse racing, crawling back into bed as an owl hooted mournfully outside. The clock read 11:47 p.m. Sleep was impossible, questions tumbling through my mind. What was this tradition? What had changed Grant? What awaited me and Max next year? Moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting shadows that seemed to shift, to watch. Footsteps passed my door, whispers trailing like smoke. After midnight, I heard metal tools clanking, perhaps from the barn, a sound that didn't repeat. I must have drifted off, because I jerked awake at 2:14 a.m., the doorknob turning slowly. Shadows of feet lingered beneath the door, someone listening. I held my breath, waiting, until they moved away, footsteps fading down the hall. Morning sunlight streamed through the east window, almost banishing the night's unease. Almost. The memory of those footsteps clung to me as I dressed and headed downstairs. The smell of coffee and bacon a deceptive normalcy. "Morning, sleepyhead," Mom said, flipping pancakes. "Everyone else has eaten. Why didn't you wake me?" Grandma said to let you rest. Big day today. Barbecue at the pond, softball game after lunch. Stabbed at my pancakes. Sounds super normal and fun. Mom's smile faltered. "Emma, please, just try to enjoy the day." Through the kitchen window, I saw family members setting up tables by the pond. Uncle Rob carrying a cooler, Aunt Kathy arranging tablecloths, all acting as if nothing was amiss. Grant was near the pond, arranging charcoal in the grill, flinching when I approached. "Can we talk about last night?" I asked. "Nothing to talk about," he said, his hands trembling. "Grant, everyone's acting weird, and no one will tell me anything about this turn. Just leave it alone, Emma." His voice cracked. "I need to get lighter fluid." He walked away, shoulders hunched, hands shaking. Throughout the morning, I felt watched, Dad's eyes tracking me as I set up lawn chairs, Aunt Martha checking on me too often, even Max keeping tabs. By noon, the barbecue was in full swing, hamburgers sizzling, kids splashing in the pond, a facade of normalcy. Uncle Rob tossed me a softball. "We're starting the game. You're on my team." The game should have been fun, but every laugh was forced, every conversation sidestepping the tradition. When I missed an easy catch, Uncle Rob squeezed my shoulder. "Head in the game, Emma." "Sorry, just distracted. Try not to think too much. It's better that way." During a break, I slipped toward the old oak barn, its massive structure off-limits during reunions, supposedly housing dangerous equipment. The heavy door was secured with a padlock, but I noticed symbols carved into the frame. Old, darkened by age, some like eyes, others like twisted branches. I traced one, the grooves smooth, their purpose elusive. "Emma, what are you doing?" Uncle Rob's voice startled me, his expression a mix of anger and fear. "Just looking at the barn. These carvings are interesting. Old farming superstitions," he said dismissively, guiding me back to the house, his hand firm. "Your grandfather's father was into that nonsense." The afternoon drifted in forced normalcy, sorting photos with Aunt Martha, playing cards with Max, listening to cousins' college plans. Passing the kitchen, I overheard Grandma and Grandpa arguing. "Can't keep doing this forever. Harold has kept the family safe for generations. She's just a girl. The ritual is necessary." I backed away, my pulse quickening. What ritual? What chain? Dinner brought a pitcher of amber cider, a Wilson family special recipe, poured by Aunt Kathy. I caught a bitter scent beneath the apple, not alcohol but something else. "To family bonds that never break," Grandpa toasted, everyone drinking. I pretended to sip, setting my full glass down, noticing the adults' eyes on me. As dinner progressed, they relaxed, their eyes unfocused, laughter too easy. Even Grant slouched, a slight smile on his lips. Despite not drinking, a heaviness settled over me. My eyelids weighted, the room too warm. "You okay, Emma?" Mom asked, touching my forehead. "You look flushed." "Just tired," I mumbled. "Perhaps you should head upstairs early," Grandma said, her tone gentle but insistent, her eyes fixed on mine. "Everyone needs rest before tomorrow." "I'll stay up a bit longer," I said, fighting the drowsiness. After dinner, older family members drifted to the study, my parents, Grandma, Grandpa, Uncle Rob, Aunt Kathy. I followed, hiding in the hallway's shadows, the study door ajar. "No signs of resistance yet," Uncle Rob said. "The herbs in the fireplace will keep her calm," Aunt Kathy added. "I used extra valerian this year. She's curious, this one," Grandpa said. "More than most." "It doesn't matter," Dad replied, resigned. "She needs to witness it, like we all did. The contract must be honored," Grandma said. "Every generation." I backed away, the words contract and witness echoing. In the living room, Max watched baseball with cousins, his expression unreadable. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah, elite. Just tired." "Maybe you should go to bed," he said, echoing Grandma, the words too deliberate. I nodded, climbing to my bedroom, the air unnaturally cold despite the July heat. The clock glowed 10:30 p.m. I pinched my arm, the pain cutting through the drowsiness, and wrote notes on my phone. The barn symbols, the cider, the overheard contract. Footsteps past my door, whispers trailing. I splashed cold water on my face, paced, recited state capitals, anything to stay awake. By midnight, the drowsiness overwhelmed me, my phone slipping to the carpet. Just 5 minutes, I thought, collapsing onto the pillow. A horrible scraping noise, metal against metal, followed by a crash, jerked me awake. The clock read 3:17 a.m. More noises came through the window. Equipment moving, a heavy thud, then a high-pitched, inhuman screech that froze my blood. I grabbed my battery-powered lantern, its glow illuminating the bedroom. Another screech, louder, with Uncle Rob's shouts. "The revealing hour," I whispered, recalling Grandma's words at dinner. The hallway was empty, every door ajar. Max's bed was vacant, my parents' room abandoned. From the hall window, I saw figures with lanterns moving toward the barn. Their steps purposeful, not panicked. Another screech, and they paused, then continued. Curiosity overpowered fear, a compulsion pulling me toward the barn. I descended the stairs, avoiding the creaky third step, the house eerily silent, the back door unlocked. Outside, the July air was unnaturally cold, the grass frosty under my bare feet. Lanterns bobbed across the yard, converging on the barn. Grandma and Grandpa walked side by side, my parents behind, Dad's arm around Mom. Uncle Rob carried a metallic rod, Aunt Kathy a covered basket. Red painted symbols on the ground, twisted, eye-like shapes, matched the barn's carvings, leading to its open doors, which poured an eerie reddish glow. The air grew colder, my breath clouding. Grant appeared in the doorway, one hand braced against the frame, the other extended. "Emma, you need to see. It's your turn to witness." Another screech came from inside. "What's happening?" I whispered. "The contract," he said. "We maintain it tonight." The red symbols glowed as I approached. Grant's face a mix of fear, resignation, and relief. "Come," he said, grabbing my wrist, his fingers ice cold. "It's time." I crossed the threshold, the barn transformed. The vast space was cleared, a circular area marked by red symbols on the dirt floor, lanterns casting a pulsing reddish glow. Family members lined the circle. Grandma, Grandpa, my parents, Uncle Rob, Aunt Kathy, Aunt Martha, Max. Their faces ghostly, tight with concentration. At the center stood a massive black bull, 7 feet at the shoulder, steam rising from its nostrils, its red eyes scanning us. Heavy ropes bound its neck and legs to iron stakes, creaking as it strained, each movement producing that inhuman screech. "What is that thing?" I whispered. "The Harbinger," Grant said. "It appears every year, and one of us must witness its containment. That's the contract." The family chanted in an ancient language, harsh and guttural. Uncle Rob stepped forward with a metal rod, its symbols glowing. Aunt Kathy revealed vials of dark liquid from her basket. "Watch, but don't interfere," Grant said. "This is your obligation." Symbols marked everyone's foreheads in red clay. "Protection," Grant explained, as the bull reared, its roar shriek shaking the barn. Grandpa read from a glowing, leather-bound book, each word making the bull thrash harder, the ground trembling. "It's fighting harder this year," Grant whispered. "Something's wrong." A rope snapped, the family's chanting faltering. "Keep the circle," Grandma commanded. My parents reinforced the eastern point, their lanterns raised. Uncle Rob approached with the rod, the bull tracking him, its presence radiating ancient hatred. Another rope broke, then the last, the bull charging Grant. I tried to pull him away, but my hand slipped. Its horns caught him, lifting him, flinging him against the barn wall with a sickening thud, blood spraying the hay. My lantern fell, glass shattering, oil igniting the dry hay. Flames raced across the floor. "Emma!" Dad shouted. The bull charged Uncle Rob, tearing his shoulder. Smoke filled the barn as Grandma and Grandpa dragged Grant's broken body toward a trapdoor. "The circle is broken," Aunt Kathy cried. "We can't contain it." The bull's red eyes locked on me, recognition flashing. Charged, hoofs pounding. I froze, certain of death, until Dad shoved me aside, taking a glancing blow that sent him spinning. Mom pulled me toward the door, the barn burning, flames climbing the walls. Outside, the unnatural cold was gone, the heat blistering. "Dad's still in there," I screamed. "He knows what to do," Mom said, her voice breaking. Dark figures emerged. Uncle Rob, leaning on Aunt Kathy, his shoulder bloody. Dad, limping. Grandma and Grandpa, carrying Grant, his blood soaking their clothes. I collapsed, shock setting in, the bull's triumphant screech echoing. Grandma knelt beside me, sprinkling sparkling powder from a pouch over my face, its minty, metallic scent cool. The witness has fulfilled her obligation, she murmured, chanting softly. The contract is maintained. The barn collapsed, sparks showering the sky. The bull's silhouette briefly visible through the flames, its red eyes fixed on me. Then darkness claimed me. Sunlight streamed through the east window, patterns dancing across the quilt. I blinked awake, my head throbbing, the room unchanged. My nightgown was pristine, no dirt, no ash, no blood. The clock read 9:42 a.m. Memories flooded back. The bull, Grant's injury, the fire, Grandma's powder. I rushed to the bathroom, my reflection normal but troubled, dark circles under my eyes. Downstairs, the dining room bustled, family members eating breakfast. Uncle Rob buttered toast, Aunt Kathy poured juice, Max scrolled his phone, and Grant, unharmed, laughing, sat at the table. I froze, pointing. The bull. It attacked you. Dad looked up from his newspaper. What's that about a bull? Last night in the barn. The ritual. The bull gored Grant. The barn caught fire. Silence fell, glances exchanged. Sounds like quite a nightmare, Grandpa said, sipping coffee. It wasn't a dream, I shouted. We were all there. Emma, honey, Mom said, steering me to a chair. You had a bad dream from too much food. How did I get to bed? I demanded. You went up around 10, Dad said. Said you were tired. Grant smiled awkwardly. Sorry, no bull attacks here. Want to join us at the fish hatchery? You're all lying, I whispered, doubt creeping in. Could it have been a dream? Grandma handed me orange juice, her eyes avoiding mine, a knowing look passing to Grandpa. At breakfast, I noticed a red burn on Grant's hand. Not there yesterday. What happened? I asked. Burned it on my motorcycle's exhaust pipe, he said, pulling back quickly. The mark looked like a flame burn, not an exhaust pipe. Uncle Rob winced, raising his right arm, the same shoulder the bull had torn. He masked it with a smile, but I saw. I needed to see the barn. Outside, the morning was bright, birds chirping, but the barn's west side had fresh paint, new doors, a shiny padlock. Ash residue lingered in the foundation's cracks. The smell of burned wood unmistakable. What are you doing? Uncle Rob asked, his right arm held carefully. The paint looks fresh, I said. Your grandfather's been maintaining it, he replied. All week. Your shoulder seems sore. Old football injury, he said, his eyes hardening. Sometimes dreams seem real, Emma. Best not to dwell. Is that what you told Grant 3 years ago? Drop it, Emma, for everyone's sake. His tone chilled me, and he walked away. Circling the barn, I found a scorched rope fragment in the weeds, tucking it into my pocket. Back in my room, I saw a blood-painted symbol, an eye with tendrils. Under the window, Mom entered carrying towels. There's a symbol under my window in blood, I said, showing her the rope. I found this behind the barn. Emma, let this dream go, she said, her face paling. Some things are better left alone. It did happen, I insisted. Why pretend? Yes, she said heavily. That's how we survive. It's how our family has endured. At breakfast, I asked where Grandma was. Garden, Mom said. I slipped out, finding her in the herb garden, snipping rosemary and thyme. Morning, Emma, she said. Did you sleep well? Not really. Hard to sleep when your family is lying. I showed her the charred nightgown scrap. Explain this. Her eyes flickered. Put that away. It's not something to wave around. Why? It proves I'm not crazy. She sighed, removing her gloves. Help me finish here. Pick the basil leaves. I knelt beside her, working in silence, the buzz of bees the only sound. When the basket was full, she sat back. Martha shouldn't have given you that. Truth is dangerous. I've earned it, I said. I saw the bull, the fire, Grant injured. She led me to an oak tree sitting on a bench. 7 generations ago, your ancestor Jacob Wilson made a bargain to save his family during a terrible winter. He met an entity in these fields not of this world. It offered salvation for obligations. The bull. It takes many shapes, reflecting the witness's fears. Each year, one family member must witness its appearance. Without it, the contract breaks, and every Wilson dies. So the bull wasn't a bull. It was how your mind saw it. The injuries, the fire were real. Our rituals, symbols, herbs, words, minimize harm, heal damage. That's why Grant is fine. Everyone accepts this? What choice do we have? Breaking the contract means death. Your turn was this year, Max is next. Max? He's 16. Age doesn't matter. Warning changes nothing, only creates fear. This is insane, I said, pacing. Your turn is complete, she said. You won't witness again for years. Burn that nightgown scrap. No evidence should remain. What if I don't? You risk drawing the entity's attention. She handed me a bundle of herbs. Put these under your pillow for a month. They'll help with nightmares. At the house, I found Grant loading suitcases. The bull. What shape was it for you? I asked. I don't know what you're talking about, he said, his eyes vacant. I know about the contract. Don't talk about it. Talking strengthens the connection. He walked away. In my room, I lit a match, burning the nightgown scrap in a trash can. The flames consuming the bloodstains. A weight lifted as it turned to ash. Downstairs, I hugged Grandpa stiffly, nodded to Aunt Martha, and accepted Grandma's jar of blackberry jam, her words heavy with meaning. As we drove away, the farmhouse shrank, the barn's fresh paint hiding its horrors. Good visit, Dad asked. Memorable, I said, watching Max doze. The herbs in my pocket, a reminder of the nightmares to come. I understood the family's silence, the need to forget.